He's not even doing nothing wrong. Ground.
What you just saw were several clear violations of the Constitution. To protect our liberty and property, the Fourth Amendment limits the government. Officers can't force their way onto private property without a warrant. And when they want to arrest someone, they need probable cause. But in Alabama, federal officers are blowing through those limits. Americans like Leo are paying the price.
For days I felt dreadful. I felt terrible. I truly didn't want to work at all. I got arrested twice for being a Latino working in construction.
Baldwin County is one of the fastest growing places in the United States. The county has beautiful beaches and affordable land. Homes are going up everywhere. In May, federal immigration officers showed up at a new development where Leo was building homes. Without asking any questions, they grabbed him and wrestled him to the ground as he told them over and over that he was a citizen.
I don't see anything. I see anything.
The officers had no warrant, didn't know who Leo was, and hadn't seen him breaking any laws. They targeted everyone at the construction site who looked Latino, and left alone everyone who didn't. And when the officers checked Leo's Alabama-issued real ID, they called it fake. They led Leo off the job site and kept him in handcuffs for over an hour in the summer sun before an officer finally agreed to check his social security number to confirm his citizenship. They released him without an apology. And just weeks later, it happened again.
I arrived at work that day. I was inside one of the houses with my headphones on when I suddenly heard someone behind me. It was an immigration agent who came through the garage and told me to go outside to the patio. When I stood up, there was another officer in front of the window. They took me to the patio and I told him I was a citizen. They told me I had to follow them to their car to verify whether I was a citizen or not.
Leo was detained, marched down several blocks, and held while the officers again checked his status. Then the officers let Leo go, along with 2 other construction workers who were also legally in the country.
The raids continue in the neighborhoods. I live in fear every day that when I get to work, it will happen again.
Across the country, federal officers are conducting immigration raids on people at work. In many cases, they're going onto private property without an owner's permission. The Fourth Amendment requires a warrant to enter private property, even if a home or office is under construction. Officers go onto these work sites and arrest anyone they think looks undocumented. A lot of times, the officers have no clue who someone is before they place them under arrest. It's then up to the person they've arrested to prove their legal status, or else the officers will throw them in the back of a van. But proving legal status can be really hard because these officers don't accept real IDs as proof that someone's here legally, even though that was a big part of the Real ID Act. Federal law permits officers to ask questions, just as anyone is free to ask someone a question. But the person must be free to walk away unless the officers have actual evidence that someone is breaking the law.
What happened to Leo is happening to many others. Because officers aren't following the Constitution, they've repeatedly detained American citizens for immigration violations. Some of the detentions have gone on for days. IJ client George Retes, an Army veteran, was held for 3 days without being able to contact his family or an attorney. He was never charged with a crime, but the damage was done.
His name is George Retes. He's a U.S. citizen. He was detained for 3 days without charges or explanation.
Leo shouldn't have to work under a constant cloud of arrest when he's done nothing wrong. He's suing with IJ to stop these officers from violating the Fourth Amendment. He's also asking the court to hold the government accountable for the constitutional violations he already suffered.
I am suing so that what happened to me doesn't happen to others. I want to achieve justice for what's happening.